Hi everyone, we're the Capital TV and this is the Capital Calls, your weekly news update. First up, investments globally. Rapid raises $300 million. Polta raises $100 million. London-based payments platform Rapid has raised $300 million in a Series E round led by Target Global. Meanwhile, London-based Polta, a provider of health and wellness app, has raised $100 million in a Series B round led by BNB Capital. Bolt raises $713 million. LATAM's Mobile gets fresh $200 million. Estonia-based ride-hailing and delivery provider Bolt has raised €600 million, which is $713 million in a Series E funding round led by Sequoia Capital. In other news, Latin America startup investor and growth accelerator Mobile received a boost this week with about $200 million investment from Proceus. Mobile will use the fresh capital to invest in new startups and help grow existing portfolio companies like iFood and Zoom. Exo raises $220 million for ultrasound tech. Udo secures $215 million. Ultrasound technology startup Exo has announced that it has closed on a $220 million Series C investment round led by RA Capital Management. And Udo, a Belgian startup offering an integrated suite of business apps built through open source development model, has announced $215 million investment from Summit Partners. iCapital, Class Technologies, Marco raises big rounds. Alternative investing platform iCapital Network has raised $440 million in fresh financing at an approximately $4 billion valuation in a round led by Team ASIC. EdTech startup Class Technology, meanwhile, has raised $105 million in Series B round led by SoftBank Vision Fund 2. And Marco, a financing platform for small and medium-sized businesses outside of US and Latin America, has raised around $82 million of funding in Kayak Ventures. Japanese startup iSpace has raised around $46 million to support planned moon missions. Japanese startup iSpace has raised around $46 million in a fresh round of Series C funding as it looks to complete 3 lunar lander missions in 3 years. The funding will go towards the second and the third of the planned missions scheduled for 2023 and 2024. The first mission, which iSpace aims to conduct, is in the later half of 2022, which is being furnished by earlier financing. Human Interest raises $200 million at a $1 billion valuation, plans for an IPO. Less than 6 months after raising $55 million in a Series C round of funding, SMB 401k provider Human Interest announced that it has raised $200 million in a round that propels it to unicorn status. The Rise Fund, TPG's global impact investing platform, led the financing round led by SoftBank Vision Fund 2. Third Wave Automation raises $40 million to bring its autonomous forklifts to warehouses. Fresh off of a strategic partnership with Toyota Industry Corporation to build an autonomous forklift, the Third Wave Automation has snagged another $40 million from investors. The California-based startup, which was founded in 2018, has raised $40 million in a Series B round led by Northwest Venture Partners, including participation from prior investors in Innovation Endeavors and Eclipse, along with Toyota Ventures, according to a Form D filed by the regulators. Moving on to mergers and acquisitions, Square rolls up Afterpay as BNPL stays hot. Payments platform Square plans to buy Afterpay, an Australian buy now, pay later service, in an all-stock deal amounted to around $29 billion. The company, backed by investors including Tencent and Coatue, has raised just another $449 million in funding as per Crunchbase data. That's it from Capital Calls Global. Tune in next week for more such weekly updates.